Welcome everybody to our what number show is it? The 10th. This is the 10th Unfiltered Live. This is amazing. I'm super excited to be here with you guys. Trying a different camera setup, but everything else is and back to Zoom obviously, and everything else is well, no, we're trying many new things actually. We're iterating live. Here we go. I'm going to click something here to make that go away from the screen. There we go. So yeah, super great to see you everybody here. Thanks for coming back to Zoom, like Beth said. And today, what we are going to do is we're going to kind of workshop your offer, your product. So one of the things that I see, that a huge mistake that I see a lot of info business owners make is that they create something that's like too small, in terms of price, in terms of value, in terms of impact. And they think that if they lower the price, it's easier to sell. That's absolutely not necessarily the case. And so they're like, let me start smaller. They think they need to have this whole value ladder set up from, freebie to, tripwire, $7 type offer to like a $50 offer of, $300 and et cetera, like build the whole thing out. It's just a lot of work. And if you build it out from the bottom up, you're going to not be making a lot of money for a very long time. So my approach is start with the biggest offer that you can make that will make a lot of money for you and that will deliver an incredible amount of value for the people who buy it. And so that's what we're going to workshop today. So if you want to bring your offers, what you're considering or what you're already doing, then we can work on those together. And you're also welcome to bring other questions. Again, business strategy, marketing, team operations, all of those things. Like I know for a lot of people, like hiring and finding the right kind of people for your team, how you do that is always a challenge. And it's one of the most important things that we can do in business is finding and attracting and leading and motivating the right people for us. Acquiring customers is obviously always an issue for everybody. Everybody wants more customers, right? Like that's kind of a given in business. Everybody. How to convert prospects, meaning they're out there and they could be your customers, to leads, meaning now you have their contact info and you can actually communicate with them, and then to customers, meaning they're buying from you, and then to ascend, meaning they buy more from you and more expensive things from you, right? So that whole process from prospect to lead to customer to ascending, that's a conversation that we can have. That's something that we can talk about. And I know that a lot of business owners feel this sense of overwhelm and they need help prioritizing stuff. So that's something that we can discuss. So all of these types of questions are the kinds of questions that I want to help you sort out here. So bring those. So really take a moment right now, actually, and bring out a piece of paper and a pen, or open up notes on your computer or your phone or whatever, and like write down the what is the top 3 things that you would love to see solved in your business that would really move your business forward, right? Is it a better offer? Is it a specific kind of person that you need on your team? Is it to get to buy back some of your time, right? To get some of the day-to-day tasks that you end up doing every day, every week, get that off your plate, get off to either another person or automate it or come up with a simpler process. Or what is it? Write down just like headline 2 or 3 things that would really make a difference for you. And then, be ready to bring those questions. All right, I'm going to wait while you think about that and you write it down. So, yes. It's great to see everybody. I can see a bunch of familiar faces here. It's awesome to see. Yeah, I see someone's out walking. I can't tell who that is. Susan's out walking. That's amazing. I love it. And while you guys think about that, You can type in the chat, actually. Type in the chat what you're finding. I'm gonna have to click here to open the chat. So what's that? I should make Beth a co-host. I shall make Beth a co-host. There we go. All right, done. Done. And I can make Bryce and G Baylor a co-host as well. Cool. All right, let me hear. So Beth, the number one challenge that Beth has that she would like to, that would unlock her, is to become a co-host. So just kidding. All right, yeah. Write down, share in the chat, like what is the top thing that would really make a difference to you in your business? Write it down. I always see in the chat. Everybody, you can do it. I believe in you. I believe you've got this in you. I can tell from here. I know for a fact that you do. All right, here we go. Giving good value while still having freedom in my life, so my creativity isn't stifled. Improve personal motivation and focus. Bigger audience, yes. Everybody wants that. What else we got, guys? What else we got? New, shorter course. Okay. To people 45 to 65. All right, cool. Let's see some more. While you're sharing that, let me see here, bigger audience and an online course. All right, that's cool. So how do people ask questions? You raise your hand, right? You go to the reactions tab and then you click raise hand. So everybody try that right now. There should be a button at the bottom of your Zoom window where you can click raise hand. And there we go. Good job, everybody. All right, everybody's figuring out how to do that. Now you can lower your hand again, unless you have a question, in which case keep it up. Cool. Jesper and Cecilia is saying, hey, Jesper and Cecilia saying, describe why clearly as to our personal family life. Describe clearly what our products are and how they are different, getting a better rhythm in work life. All right. That is super cool. Sweet. So with that, let's talk about offer. So I was in Copenhagen recently. I got back less than a week ago, and a week and a day ago, Wednesday last week, I did this 1-day clinic. I'll call it a clinic. Originally, it was supposed to be a mastermind, and then with the people who showed up, it turned out that like masterminding wasn't really what they needed. And so obviously, like we're here to serve. Is if what people need is something different, then we figured that out. And so it turned out they were all sort of in the same space of they had something really good going that wasn't exactly online courses. Like one was doing public relations communications and very successful doing that. Another one was like a healer in-person therapy kind of work, and another was helping people lose weight by mastering their mindset and inner game. And what they needed was really kind of to get going with their online business. And some of them had put together some courses and it wasn't really moving the needle. And they were like, oh, is this the right course? Should it be different? What all that kind of stuff. So what we ended up doing was kind of on the fly creating a process, a curriculum, which I think is going to be really instructive for you guys as well and relevant. And it's kind of distilling that methodology that I have of figuring out what is the end product that we want, what is the outcome that we want here, and then working backwards from that. So let me break it down. So basically, what we want here, most of us, and I'm making an assumption, let me know if this is true for you, that what you want is you want to make good money, you want to make money, and you want to have impact on people. You want to know that you're making a difference in people's lives and that you're making money and you're not like driving yourself insane. You're not overwhelming yourself doing it. Does that resonate? Let me hear with people. If that's true, type me in the chat. Just write me if that describes how you operate or what you want. We want to make money, we want to have an impact, and we want to not overwhelm ourselves. All right. I see me, us in the chat. That's amazing. Great. Good stuff. I thought so. Right. And so the process is basically 4 steps to create a long-term sustainable business doing that. Number 1 is you want to have a high value offer, a high value product. Number 2 is you need a conversion mechanism. What does that mean? That means, how do you convert your leads into customers? How do you sell this thing? Is it a sales conversation? Is it like DM or on Messenger or Instagram or something like that? Is it email? Is it a landing page that people buy themselves? Like, is it a live event? What is it? Is it a webinar? How do you sell it? What's the conversion mechanism? Number 3 is, when you're starting, who are the easily accessible leads that you already have, right? Who are the people that you have in your network, people that you have on your list, who can you already find that you already have access to, that you can start selling this thing to? And then, because that gets you going, right? So now that can get you the sales, it makes you meaningful revenue, it creates impact, that generates case studies where you can show other people, hey, these are the results we've gotten for people. You get testimonials, you get experience, and that then lets you put together a system that can generate leads ongoing, right? So traffic, basically. So those are the 4 steps. Number 1, we need a high value product to sell, a really compelling offer. Number 2, a conversion mechanism. Number 3, tap your easily accessible leads. And number 4, some traffic generation machine that generates leads ongoing. So those 4 steps. And I'm thinking that we will do those, we'll cover those in today and then in the next 3 shows that we do. So today we're going to talk about the high value product, the high value offer. And again, happy to workshop your specific offer with people. So let's talk about that. Let me see. Let me just check in the chat here. What's that? Oh, this is the chat I can check here? That's amazing. Oh my God, I got a chat on an iPad. Amazing. Cool. All right. So let's talk about a high value product. The question to ask yourself, and take out that pen and paper again and write down for yourself, who is the person that you can deliver the most value for, and that has the money to pay for that value, right? So if you solve a problem for someone who is making a lot of money, and especially if that problem relates to the way in which they make money, then solving that problem is going to be worth a lot more just in dollars and cents to that person than if you solve the exact same problem for someone who doesn't have money, right? Or for whom where it's just not much of a pain, where there's not much urgency around it, right? So you need to get clear on who is that person that you can help that has a high value problem that you can solve. So start by just writing down some stuff about that. And a lot of people, they go into this place where they really want to help people, right? They really want to help, and they know a lot of people who are poor, who are suffering, who are struggling, and they're like, let me help those people. And that's great. The problem is that you can't build a business that way if those are all the only people that you help, because they just can't pay you. It's like, they're lovely people, they're awesome, they're amazing, but if they can't pay you, then you can't make a business off of it. So we need to find the people who actually have money, and typically someone who has more money tends to have less time. And so if we can solve the problem in a way that's efficient for them time-wise, then that's going to be high value for them. So write down, type in the chat, a little bit like just about what are the, let me see here. I need to switch everyone maybe. Yeah, type in the chat. Um, who is that avatar for you? Who is that person for you? Write it out. Let me see what you got. And you can just write a couple of words, right? Like, is it a, is it a leader, a businesswoman leader? Is it a someone who's owns their own company? Is it a, is it a therapist? Is it a coach? Is it a personal trainer? Is it a busy mom? What is it? All right, let's see here. Successful photographer. I can look here. Successful photographer, musician, artist, entrepreneur with a small business, busy people with a little cooking experience. There we go. Yeah, it's perfect. This is great, right? And then think about, so then the next is what is that problem for this person that is worth a lot for them to solve? So keep in mind that people don't, there's what people want, and then there's what people need, right? In order to get into the door of people, we need to sell people what they want, and we need to address the acute pain that they have, even if we know that what they really need is something different, or that they need something, much bigger or something like that. That's great. That's not what we're selling up front. What we're selling up front, we can give them that. Or maybe we then educate them on that need and we can sell them that later, or maybe it's part of the package or whatever. But initially we need to solve the pain that they have right now, right? So if it's a busy mom, someone, what do we have? Someone who's busy people with little cooking experience, right? So what is the pain there that they have because they don't have a lot of cooking experience, right? Maybe it's a busy mom that is a professional and married, and both parents have jobs and they have 2 or 3 kids or something, and they don't really have a full-time nanny or something, like someone like that. So like mom needs to, or make sure that, like parents need to make sure that there's food on the table every night. And how do you do that? And maybe it's like about how to engage the husband as well, so he's cooking, or like, and do shopping planning, whatever. But there's probably something there, right, that we can solve. And then so the next thing was we identify that problem, then we figure out like how can we put together an offer, a package that's extremely compelling to this person. So we don't want to do one-on-one stuff. Like we don't want to do only one-on-one where like you're working with a person just like, all right, 10 sessions and then we talk. Like that's a lot of people, that's where they're coming from. They've already done that one-on-one. What we're going for here is let's put something together that's way more compelling than that for both you and for your clients. So some kind of group format where, because what we all want is we want connection. We want to meet, we want community, we want to meet other people. So if you put people together in a group format, in a cohort, that's extremely powerful. They love that connection. They can learn from each other. They get to see that they're not alone. We had a call yesterday with our trusted advisors, which are, trusted advisors are high-level partners, referral partners, and they're all very, very successful entrepreneurs. We did a quick little like masterminding wisdom circle with them where they got to learn from each other, and it was extremely valuable, right? The people at whatever level they're at, they really want to learn from each other and network and mastermind and make friends. So if you can provide that in a group format, that's phenomenal, right? So then some kind of group program that has it can have elements of one-on-one. Typically what you can do is you can do just an onboarding one-on-one where you get to know people, and then you can map out a curriculum for them, but then the rest of it is done in a group format. So then you can do things like, there's content online that they in a membership site that they can access, like videos they can go through, worksheets, PDFs, things that they can do on their own, things that they can give to their partner, things that, that like homework, you can have group calls, group conversations, that kind of stuff, right? So, group open Q&A calls or open coaching calls, you can do hot seats. So what you do is you put together a program that includes just the right elements for exactly this avatar that you're after, that respects their time and delivers the results in a way that is scalable for you, right? So that's what you want to workshop or like really figure out like what goes into that. And you probably don't have all the answers today. You probably need to talk to your actual, leads, your prospects, and hear them, what elements would really be appealing to them. But that's what you do. And then you can put together an offer for these people that is going to be like a no-brainer for them, because the value that you deliver is so high that what they're paying for it is peanuts in comparison, right? So if you're a busy mom that needs to feed her family, right? Like obviously, like you can hire a private chef. There's a cost to that, and you can figure out what that cost is. But maybe they don't want to go that route or can't afford it. So like, what is the solution? Or maybe they just like emotionally want to be the one that cooks the food for their family. Like, what is that worth to this person to have this solved once and for all, right? It might be worth quite a bit because there's going to be kids for a long time probably, and feeding them and having that connection, and you can talk about all of that, right? Like the value of the meal together as family, et cetera, et cetera. So basically that's what we want to do. We want to put together that offer, and that's how you create a really compelling offer that you can charge a high price for, and it delivers even higher value so that it's easier to sell to people. So with that, let's open it up. I want to see what you guys have set in the chat, and I want to help you workshop your offer, and or other questions that you have around team or any of the things that we talked about up front. So let me just check in the chat here. Susan says she has to go. My Brits, yes. Yeah. Price for the course is lower than for the bills. Yep. Yeah. All right. So raise your hand and let's get into the workshopping.
Kevin, Candace had a question earlier about how many people is a good number of people for a group if you're doing a group offer. Is that something you would like to talk about, Candace?
Yeah. Well, I would say 2 or more, right? Like it really doesn't have to be like that big at all, right? It's like even just having 2 people go through the experience together and being able to support each other, that's valuable. Depending, obviously the dynamic is going to be very different in a group of 2 or 3 or 4 than a group of 100 or 1,000. So you just adjust in terms of what you do in the group format, but really, like there's no real lower bound. Cool. Let me see here. What else we got? Yeah, we got a raised hand. Let's do it. Beth, can you help with that?
Sure, yeah.
Cool.
Maybe you just need to unmute yourself and you'll be able to talk. There you go.
It works. It works.
Yes. All right.
I'm so far away, you see, so it isn't on the other side of the world.
Yes.
Yeah, but I thought that I would like to use a name of a product in my advertise. I'm not sure that they like this in the Facebook or so. I know it has been problems earlier. If I say omeprazole, is that difficult for you, or do you know what it is, or?
I don't understand what you're saying. You're saying with the name of you're not sure about the name of your product. Is that what you're saying?
No, I would like to make a course, and I would like to use the name of the product to sell it, because it's quite important. A lot of people eat this omeprazole every day, many times, and it's a lot of pills they use. And I don't know if I could use omeprazole in the title.
Oh, so what?
Yes, that's the name of a drug. Yeah.
It's a
brand
drug, name of
Yeah.
a drug. Yeah.
You probably I'm not a lawyer, so I don't know, and I don't know the laws in your country either, but I would assume that you probably can't. That would be my guess. But you can also try, and like worst case, someone will sue you, and that might be free publicity. So this is not legal advice.
but it is not a special. It is a common name. It isn't. It hasn't got to own that name. It is a group name, you see. But
Okay. Well, then, yeah, if it's not a trademark, you probably
no, not a trademark. No.
Well, then I would assume you should be fine. Like, are you asking from a marketing perspective if that works, or are you asking from a legal perspective, or a?
I didn't get this.
No, are you asking me would it attract more customers if I use that name?
Yes,
in my
because
marketing?
such a common pill that everyone knows about, and I think it should hit them a little bit more in the stomach if I use a name.
Yeah. Like how this, whatever the name is, again, is harming you, and you don't know about it.
Yeah, I think you knew about it, but you are young, of course, so you are fresh. You don't use pills.
And I also don't touch anything that Big Pharma produces.
Well, that's just, I could always try and see what they say.
Yeah.
Then
totally
I could change,
right.
and then I could change in a way, I think.
Yeah, I mean, and that's the beautiful thing about the world that we live in today. You can easily run ads using like the same ad, but 5 different versions of the title of or the name of the product, whatever, and just see what works, right? So that will give you some insights very quickly.
Then I give this to younger people that is working, and they stress a lot, and I think they would be interested to read this. I think so.
Yeah. And so you're helping people stay off of that drug?
Oh yeah, it's very common. It's really common. Yeah.
What is it? What kind of drug is it? What does it do?
It is for so you don't have to have the reflux anymore. You don't have this acidic things coming up.
Oh, got it.
You got less of that, and then you feel better. And I give them alternatives, so they don't have to use a pill, you see.
That's good. That's good. I'm all for that. That's a great idea.
I think it would. I need to get some more money, because old people are not rich enough.
Right.
The course I have today, most people, it's difficult to get them to pay.
Yeah, and that, I mean, and this is the problem, right? Like most people don't want to take care of themselves and their bodies. They just don't, right? Like you're like, well, if you exercised, you would, feel better and have more energy and lose weight and all. And they're like, yeah, fuck that.
and they trust their doctor, and then they get very old medications, you see.
Right. Exactly.
That's the problem.
I saw a study that doctors basically, like, when they're in med school, they learn what drugs are in vogue at that time, and those are the drugs that they keep prescribing for the rest of their lives, basically. And then, like, as new drugs come along, it's like, it's a fascinating world.
That's true, and it's nice to hear you saying this, because it's all true.
Yeah.
Okay, I think I let some other people talk now.
All right.
Yeah, we've got 3 other people with their hands raised. Hopefully we can get to everybody.
All right, cool.
Malin, you want to go next? Or I don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry.
Yeah, it's okay. I'm also from Sweden. I guess Maj-Britt also was, but so it's Malin. But anyway,
Oh,
it's okay.
all right, fantastic.
My question is, I used to work at a tax agency here in Sweden, and now I've started a company where I teach people about the tax system and the accounting and how to do bookkeeping and so. And I don't want, because a lot of people are afraid of the tax agency, the bookkeeping, and when they run a company, it's like, oh, I don't dare look at that one. But I want them to feel more relaxed about it. But when I do the advertising and try to sell my course to them, I have tried to do it more like a gentle, and because everyone is afraid of the tax agency, I don't want to talk too much about it, but I have realized maybe I should highlight that fact anyway, or I don't want to do advertising about fear, but can I do that?
But you need to what motivates people to act is their feelings, their emotions, right? So you're talking about a feeling that people already have, that they're scared of this, they're afraid of it, they're uncomfortable. So you need to, so what people do when they feel like that is they try to block it, right? They try to not think about it. They try to, like, depending on how severe it is, they start to take pills or drink alcohol, like whatever, to make it go away, right? So what you need to do is you need to poke your finger right in there and agitate it and make it worse, so that you can tell people, I have the solution to it, right? So here's what you need to do to solve, like, I can solve that for you. I can help you reframe it in your head, understand it right. So like whatever you do with people so that they don't have that pain, but you absolutely need to go in and agitate the pain. Yes.
Yeah, I will try to see myself do that, but yeah.
Yeah. But what you do is you interview people in your audience or that have that, or just people that you know, right? And then you're like, hey, so like when you think about this tax thing, like how do you feel? And then you just start digging a little bit, like, well, like tell me more specifically about the fear. Like, how does it show up for you? What are the thoughts that are going through your head when it's at its worst? Like what's happening? Like do you wake up in the middle of the night sometimes thinking about this? Like, what does that feel like? What's going on in your head? Like when you think about it, like what's the worst case scenario? Have them try to future pace of what could happen, what's the and really go down that, and you get them to talk about it, and then you can get that on video, and then you can edit that and record it and use that for your ads and your landing pages, etc. You can also just transcribe it or rewrite it and tell the story. Like, I often talk to business owners, and like, this is what they tell me. And then you just retell it. So it's not really you saying it. Do you know what I'm saying? It's just you telling honestly and frankly what other people like them are feeling and thinking and experiencing. And, does this resonate with you? Is that similar to for you? Right?
Thank you. Really good advice. Thank you.
You bet. My pleasure. Thank you. The other thing I just wanted to say on this, by the way, Malin, is as a business owner, I'm wondering something to keep in mind, right? Is like your target market, I would assume, is a relatively small company. Like at a certain size, you're just like, you have people sorting that, right? Like I have accountants and CPAs, and I have a wealth management firm that handles all of that stuff for me, and I basically don't need to worry too much about it. Maybe there's still something that you can solve for someone like me, but it might be that your audience is that like smaller entrepreneur, of which there are plenty, right? There are millions of them, so that it's a big enough market. But just be very clear on who you're targeting, because obviously, like the spectrum of more, people just starting out have less money but more time, and later on in the game they have more money but less time. So being clear with yourself who you're targeting there and how you're solving the problem. All right.
Awesome. Thanks. All right. I really don't know how to say your name. I'm sorry. Your turn. We need a Swedish co-facilitator here.
Yeah.
But I'm from Iceland.
Oh, right. I forgot. Yes.
Oh.
Welcome back.
Oh, thank you. So where do I start? I've been living on helping people that are in debt for decades.
Mhm,
It's courses and then one-on-one coaching.
mhm.
It is very hard, has been very hard for me to have them to work with me in groups because of the shame. They think they are the only one in debt.
Mhm.
And so I'm trying to make money out of money that people that have no money. It's going good. So the first thing I learned was to sell it to the towns or the rehabilitation center instead of the individuals.
Mhm.
And now what is happening is that the hospitals now they want to learn how to teach this. So that is what I'm doing in Simplero, putting everything in there to go from one-on-one over to teaching the teachers.
Right. That's smart.
But this problem of creating the groups, maybe Simplero just automatically solves that. I don't know.
Yeah.
And
So
now my customers are not, they are more funds now, or
Right.
Yeah.
yeah. So what was your question?
Yes, it is about how my problem is this with the groups and rethinking everything, because this is different numbers of.
Right. Yeah. So like the thought I have when you first said, like, I think I know now you're teaching teachers, but in general, the idea that like something like when you're teaching people something that they have shame on, like debt, I think there's something very powerful in bringing people together in a group. You have to speak to it. You have to tell people, look, things are only shameful if you keep them private, if you keep them secret. But talking about it in a group, in a private group, right? So it feels safe, can be extremely cathartic and extremely liberating. Yeah, I did the exercise a couple of months back in a group where we're probably 15 people, and it was like everybody shared the thing that they were most worried that someone else would know about them, right? Like that they were most ashamed of. And it was scary. It was really
Calvin unmuted you.
don't mute me.
Well, apparently it thinks you're a participant. Sorry about that.
Yeah, I was thinking go to the participants list and see who were unmuted, but okay. All right. I mean, because I want to try to see. Here we go.
You're good now. Yeah.
So okay. So anyway, so we want to so I think if you were still doing things with individual people in debt, I think that could be extremely powerful. Just talk about how valuable, how important it is to share this and kind of get over the shame, because like that shame is going to psychologically also keep you more stuck in that situation that you're in. So yeah, you look like you want to say something. Oh, are you muted now?
He should be able to unmute too.
So am I back?
Yep, you're back.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's maybe I am teaching in groups,
Right.
and I'm telling them my story to try to liberate them from how I'd get out of debt and into a better situation.
Right.
So that helps, but to get them how do you say it? To come from there to that they share.
Right.
Well, that is, how am I doing? I tried this didn't work, and this didn't, to come into that.
Right. So are you trying to get the teachers to share now?
Now I'm trying to get it in Simplero so I can teach the teachers.
Right. I'm still not.
Yeah,
Are you trying?
yes,
Are you
yes,
so?
I will do that. Yes.
So if you're trying to get, if you're talking about like, so we have separate implementation Q&As where you can go to get help on how to implement it in Simplero. So
Okay.
Beth can give you the
Yes.
link to that.
No,
So if that's what you're looking for, you can go there to do that.
no,
Are
I'm not
you-
looking for that. I'm looking just for this spiritual
Okay,
aspect of
I'm
it.
still not understanding Beth, do you understand the question?
Like, no, the question is just that I have found it difficult to have people to work together after the
Right.
course to work with their finance because of the same. I could have never find a way to come over that.
Yeah. Okay. So I would say you need to get people on a call, right? And then you model and maybe there's some people in the group that you have a closer relationship with and you talk to them ahead of time and you get them comfortable with the idea of sharing. And so then they can go first
Some preparation.
and then you can kind of break the ice that way. But like people need help getting over that fear, right? So it's not going to happen just by itself. So you need to gently get them into it. And maybe you even need to start with something. Well, I guess if the challenge is getting them on the call in the first place, because showing their face means they have to acknowledge that they're in debt, then that's difficult too. So then you need to really talk to that in the content that comes from you, right? So you would put out content where you talk about your journey and your story and how important it was to you in the process of solving that problem, to be able to be willing and have the courage to speak openly about it with other people. And so you really need to talk to that psychological piece of it. Yeah. Am I getting it now?
What?
Am I getting it now?
Yeah, you're getting it. So.
And Kimberly has some good advice for you in the chat.
Oh, cool.
One more thing.
Yeah.
You let me know when you're in Denmark again with this course.
Okay.
Danish is
All right.
better.
Yeah.
Yes. I bet. Yeah. Yeah, I will let you know. So yeah, I've just been to Denmark like 3 times in the past 3-4 months, but I don't have any current plans, so we'll see. But I'll keep you posted.
Thank you.
Yeah. You bet. All right. Good seeing you, man.
Yes,
Thank
but you and I don't know which one of you wants to come on, but there are 2 of you here.
Yeah.
Hello.
Hello. No, good to see you, Ben, and good to see you, Kalman. Yeah, we we live this very different life where we have unschooled for 10 years plus 10 years and travel full time for 5 years. And we would like to earn more money online than what we are doing now. But we earn our money online, but through facilitating our knowledge to people. And the question is that when we look at the people we attract, then we try to make a small course during the spring on school, on world schooling, but it's a very small population that wants to actually world school. Then we have done some talks here in the fall in Denmark and online about being inspired to travel and follow your dreams, and that went better. But it feels like, and listening to what you said, it feels like we are too far out of. We live a so different life that the people who want to live like us maybe go van lifing or traveling. Right. It's a very small audience, but we believe that we have gained so much knowledge about being parents and how learning works and stuff like that, that there must be something we can help people with. So the question is, how do you deduct how you best can help people with the knowledge you have? I think that's the real question we have.
Yeah.
Because we're too far out.
Yeah, dude, I mean, I hear you, man. I get it. Yeah, one sec. No,
As we have kids in the background, I will mute myself while you're talking.
All right, all good. I mean, that's the question, right? Like it's hard. I think you're right. Like, obviously you need to meet people where they're at. So there's a model that like finding the thing that you're really good at, that the market values, and that is effortless for you. Like I remember this like thing I read, like book, forget what the book is called, but he called it the sweet spot. But it's that general idea. There's a lot of people who talk about that idea in different ways, but that's kind of what you're looking for, right? And it is like you need to talk to people, and then you need to get to really get a sense of. So here's what I would start with: figuring out like who are the kinds of people that I really enjoy working with that would also have money to pay me, right? So start by like, what is the vibe of the people? What is their kind of like psychographics? What are they into? That kind of stuff. Like it has to be big enough. It can't be people that are way out on the fringe, or maybe it is like maybe there is a market there that would be sustainable. But like really figure out like, who are those people, and then look at your skill set and your experiences from a broad perspective of like, yeah, what is it that we've really learned here? Is it about parenting? Is it about online business? Is it about like problem solving? Is it about planning like extraordinary experiences? Is it like, what is the thing that you can help people with there? And it's going to be like a discovery process, but I think it sounds like there needs to be some like maybe there's like hey, we have our lives and we live this way, and that's just our thing, and then we do this other thing that is just a matter of like, how can we make the most money and the most impact and the most effortless way possible so that we can live our lives this way. Like maybe there doesn't have to be a strong connection between the two. Maybe that'll happen later, but by separating them, you can more easily find that sort of that breakthrough. How is this all landing, resonating for you?
So the thing is that we have quite a few people following us because we are extreme, and it looks very fascinating and interesting from the outside. But the ones we actually get in touch with and do some coaching or speaking or whatever with, they are usually either on the verge of going to full-time traveling lifestyle, or they have just decided to homeschool the children, which means they are in a financially unstable period in their lives, and they feel insecure in basics, supporting their own family, which means they buy 2 or 3 sessions and then they, shut the door again. And I get it. I've been there.
Okay. This is great. This is great. So
we need to get in touch with, okay.
Two thoughts on that. Number one is I would definitely look deep into yourselves about like, just really wonder about like, is there something in the energy that you're putting out that are attracting people that are like unstable or not, willing to commit? Just like see if there's a part there that you can own. That would be one thing I would do. Like always looking at so the way that I think about it is like in pretty much everybody, like you are the product that you're selling. And so like that energy that we put out needs to be on point, right? We need to be that energy and we need to put that out in the world. And that needs to be on point. We're not getting the result that we want. Oftentimes there's something there to look at. That's the piece number one. The other piece is if people are in that, like they're about to go travel the world, they're about to like start homeschooling and making these big transitions, I would think like, what do they need more than anything? They need like some structure that they can hold on to that can guide them through that process. So I wouldn't even like begin to do one-off sessions with anybody there, right? Like that's not what they need, and that's not how you can serve them. So I would put together a program for people transitioning into that sort of lifestyle that moves beyond where they're at right now and sees them well 6 months into that new reality, and gives them that structure so that they can go through all of the instability and all of the like uncertainty and all of that. And it's a package deal, and it's like, this is the price, you pay it for this full thing, and you can tell people in advance, like in week 3 or month 2 or whatever, you're going to feel like quitting and you're going to hate us and you're going to feel like it's the worst decision ever and yada yada. This is normal. Like you're going to go through that process, you're going to stay in the program, we're going to get you the result on the other side. If you can give people a guarantee, if 12 months into this you don't feel like it was the best money you've ever spent because it saved you so much money from making a ton of mistakes that you would have made otherwise, if you don't feel that after the 12 months, then we're going to give you a full refund, no questions asked. But you need to stick with it through that entire process. How does that land?
Okay, makes sense.
Makes absolutely sense, Calvin.
Yeah,
Thank you.
you bet. My pleasure, man and woman. My pleasure, both of you guys.
You can call me man. Man.
Cool. All right, good to see you again, Jesper. All right.
Yeah, Kara had a question about ad spend. Do you want to talk about that, Kara?
Let's do it.
Hi.
Hey.
I'm just curious if there is any sort of rule of thumb in terms of advertising spend. So for instance, on Facebook, they do kind of that cost per day. Sometimes I get a little bit stuck on like how to figure out in advance, because you don't know how much you're going to make on it,
Yeah.
So it's like, well, what makes sense? I don't know if there's any kind of easy gauge that you have on that type of thing.
Yeah, I'm far from an expert on ads and ad spend. We've not successfully really done much with ads ever, so really don't take my advice here. I will just tell you what I do, which is when we do ads, it's like small budgets, maybe like $5 a day type things to get a feel for what's the engagement, how is this resonating. But again, we're not driving ads at this point to conversion, so it's a little bit different. It's more we're driving ads maybe to generate leads sometimes, but mostly to get engagement for content. So I know from this people I speak to who are doing lots of ads that there's a certain minimum that you need to be willing to spend, like 3, 5, 10,000 a month US in order to start to see results, like to really get something that gives you conversions at a reasonable return on ad spend. Like you have to put a meaningful amount of money to allow the algorithm to figure out what's going to convert. That's kind of what I know. Bryson, what do you have? Yeah, no, I don't know. We can have Bryson is doing the ads. I don't. Do you want to?
I just like right here, just so I can get an earshot or not. Hey, so I was actually talking to Kara in the comments. I would say this, that what you want to do is sit on your lap. We're brothers, happy and singing. Anyways, yeah, so you want to reverse engineer what the products that you have and then try to work backwards. It's good, like what Calvin mentioned, you definitely want to make sure you have a significant amount, but you want to know like how much it costs, or at least estimates, to get a customer. And then you want to work from that. That's what you want to think. How much can I spend to acquire a customer? And if you go from that perspective, then you can really be more dangerous.
And then are you thinking like you spend like a certain percentage of what that lifetime, or did you call it the lifetime?
Correct. Lifetime value. Yeah. So then it depends also on your cost of goods. How much does it cost for you to deliver your service? Then you have to kind of factor in all those other elements. You know, what other is there? Of course, you've got delivery. Are you paying for other things? And then how much do you have left? So for instance, if you have a $500 course and it costs you $400 to get a customer, and that's all you're getting for the year, you know, then you got to figure, okay, how do I make the numbers work? You know what I mean? Either more courses or more.
Yeah,
Sorry.
that's great. So yeah, so let's dive into that actually. I think is a good idea. Thanks, Bryson.
Yes.
So what are you selling, and what ads are you running?
Well, at the moment, I'm not running ads. I did run some earlier in the summer, but I have a few different products, like a monthly membership type of thing. I have a course, and I have like more of a high ticket retreat that's coming up. So there is a range of prices and products.
Right.
that
Yeah.
are-
Got it. What is it? Amy Crane over at the social something other. Beth can drop the link. Like she's
Amy's a Simplayer user. Her business is called Social Lab Media. And she's freaking amazing.
yeah.
And I also put in the chat some training that we had some really great experts on Facebook ads and Google ads do for Simplayer users. It's not super recent, but it's all still really great content. So Kara, I would definitely recommend. And for anybody else who's thinking about running ads, because there's a lot of content in there about how to decide what's worth running ads to, what kind of upsells you need to have in order to make that ad worth it in the long run, like the customer lifetime stuff Bryson was talking about. So really worth your time. But yeah, you have to be logged in as a Simplayer admin to get that. If anybody has trouble, email me and I'll help you out.
Okay, thank you. And it's Social Lab Meta or Media?
Yeah, sorry. Yeah, I can get you
Media.
in a second. Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
All right. Cool, everybody. Thank you so much for showing up. It was a pleasure. It was fun. Thanks for everybody who are brave enough to come on and interact and ask questions. We love that. Thank you for everybody interacting in the chat. It's amazing. Next week, we're going to talk about conversion mechanisms and how to pick the right conversion mechanism for your offer. In the meantime, go home or stay home. I'm assuming you probably are home right now these days. But in the meantime, think about your offer. Think about what is that offer that you can create that's high value, high impact for people, that has just the right elements, like a hybrid. It can be in person, online, group, one-on-one, online, like video, all of that. Put all it together into an offer that's the complete no-brainer for the person that you're offering it to. You can also think about pricing, right? Like you only get paid when they get the result. What is the result that you can promise? And maybe you just take 10%, 20%, 50% of the revenue that you generate for people, or whatever it is. So be creative around that offer that you put together. And then next week, we can talk about how you can actually convert people on that offer. All right. Great to see everybody. Thank you so much. And I'll see you next week. Bye.